Welcome back to The Art of Hobbiness. I'm Erin, joined by my lovely co-host, Tam.
Hi.
Today on The Art of Hobbiness, we're chatting with Meredith and Robin of Bambird Boutique. These busy moms learned Mahjong from their own mothers. They kept the tradition going with friends, creating a community that became the spark for their business. With that support behind them, they took a leap of faith, leaving their careers to build a beautiful brand inspired by the game they love. Welcome, Meredith and Robin.
Welcome!
Yay!
We are so excited to have you. And I know I personally have 1,000 questions to ask you, but I first just want to take us back to the beginning. I want to know who Meredith and Robin were before you guys got into Mahjong, really.
Okay, you want to go first?
Well, very boring, apparently.
Not at all.
Yeah, so I came from an event planning background. I have 3 little kids, so I was trying to figure out how, the hustle of working, but also being present as a mom. And then after COVID, my mom taught me how to play Mahjong, and we started a group in our neighborhood. After, with her, she'll tell her whole side of the story, but it's just kind of opened up a whole new realm of things for me, playing with my kids, my husband. Obviously this is now our full-time job, and so that's a whole thing in and of itself. But even if it wasn't that, I just feel like it's brought something for me to my life that is hard to do, and it's hard to find time for yourself. It's hard to find time to allocate friend time. I mean, everybody wants you and to pull you in a different direction. So it's opened up a lot of avenues for my life that I feel like I wouldn't have had beforehand.
Yeah, definitely.
And my background, I'm a CPA, and I spent 19 years with a very large public accounting firm, one of the big 4 firms. 15 of those years I was in client service, the busy season hours, 80 to 100 hours a week. And I also have 3 kids, and it got to a point where it was really hard juggling all the things. I moved into a different role at the firm, but was still working full time and being a mom full time also. I also learned Mahjong from my mom. Just coincidentally at about the same time that Meredith had learned. My mom has been playing for over a decade. Meredith's mom's been playing for a good long while as well. And so we both learned from our moms about the same time. We're friends that we met because of our kids. And so we started playing together, and I'm sure we'll get into more of the story of then how that turned into Bambird. But yeah, so I'm accounting brain, and she's the fun side with her events background.
She's fun too. She's a fun accountant.
I mean, you both seem very fun. We love your aesthetic and all the things. We're so excited to be talking to you today. How cool that that your moms both taught you Mahjong separately. And so we talk some about how generational hobbies can be passed along like that. Do you feel like Mahjong was already really prevalent in your community, or do you feel like you wouldn't have been exposed to it at all if it weren't for your moms?
Well, in Dallas, interestingly enough, I don't know why this was the case, but the resurgence that Mahjong is having right now, Dallas has been like an epicenter of that. And some of the earlier, people to catch on that are at a younger age to catch on and start playing Mahjong were in Texas and in Dallas. So there was beginning to be a bit of a resurgence of
some chatter of what's
Mahjong.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we probably would have eventually gotten there, but I think we were on the early end or on the early side of that. And also very cool that we learned something with our moms that we could sit down and play with our moms and then share with our kids so that they can play with us. And as you say, a generational type hobby. And that's totally what it's become in both of our families.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the beauty of the game of Mahjong is that, it's been generational from the beginning in the Chinese culture and the Asian culture in general. And, it had a big resurgence in the U.S. in the 20s, and then in the, 50s or 60s, and then back again. So everything has its cycle, and
Yes.
We're glad to be a part of it on this one because it's been a fun ride.
Absolutely. It feels like a dream come true,
yeah.
really.
So then, I'm really glad that you brought up the generational piece, because that is something that has recently been my personal interest as far as hobbies and our culture. But what about what about Mahjong made you to decide to kind of team up and then really embrace this as a business as opposed to a creative, just hobby outlet for you?
Well, it was kind of Meredith's idea. We had begun, so we both learned from our moms, and then Meredith started a little neighborhood group, and we were trying to get together regularly with our neighbor friends. And in fact, Meredith,
sick of my husband being gone for golf for 4 or 5 hours.
We can.
I was like, it's my turn, and I'm inviting all of my friends over to my house, and we're going to play for 4 hours and drink wine. So that's really how this started.
yeah. And so as we were doing that, Meredith was like, I really want beautiful luxury tiles, but at a more accessible price. And I think that we should design our own tiles. And I was like, well, I'm interested. Let's do it.
Yeah. So is that how it began? You started going down the process of like figuring out how to design a tile set? Was that kind of the turning
like
point?
Drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, I
honestly.
bet.
we would meet after both of our jobs, and after our kids went to bed. So it was usually we'd start at 8 p.m. and go late into the night. And you know how they say like a back of the napkin kind of a business?
Yeah.
It was like a text message.
Yeah.
Building the business, and then at late night evenings. And but yeah, I mean, originally we thought we could make our own tiles.
Okay.
Like
Physically make them. Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is when we realized our husbands were not taking us seriously. Like, if this is going to grow, maybe we shouldn't be in charge of manufacturing tiles.
We were trying to pour resin in.
Oh my gosh!
Like in at the bar in my house, we were into these little molds, and we were like, "Why are there so many bubbles?" And we had this heat, because we don't know what we're doing. Yeah, that's why.
So God humbled us very, very much on the front end. So when we went in, we were like, you know what? It can't get worse than how we started.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like you were having a lot of fun when you started, and it seems like you're still having a lot of fun. It seems like it.
Well, that's so interesting, though. But I want to kind of touch on this a little bit more, though, because you guys say that you actually were trying to physically make your own tiles, and there's some stressors to that, right? So we actually talk about on the show some of the challenges that can happen when you kind of monetize your hobby. And we talk about just kind of being aware of when it stops bringing joy. It seems like bubbles didn't bring you joy. So how did you guys know that it was, I still want to pursue this. This is still bringing me joy. Just maybe I need to tweak how I approach this. How did you work
it did not take long. We looked at what we had done, and we were like, yeah, this was a fun experiment for about an hour. And we knew that wasn't going to work. So, I mean,
and we were trying to figure out a different way of making a tile. And so we were kind of trying to play with how it would look, and thought we could create it and then reach out to someone and be like, hey,
it's a master's. It was more of like an attempt at a prototype.
Yeah, wonderful.
And it was a failed attempt at a prototype. But we learned very quickly that was not going to work. It wasn't a good use of our time. And the level, the quality that we wanted was we were never going to be able to produce that, because
even for a prototype. So it's a good story.
It's a great story. It is a great story.
We kept the little, I guess you could call them tiles that we made. We kept them. They're in a box somewhere, because we were like, there will be a day when we'll be in our office and have this framed behind us.
Yes.
Remember when?
Yeah, it's like framing your first dollar or something, right?
I love that. So
exactly.
what was your first design? What was the design on top of it? I assume is what you were trying to be a little bit more creative with.
Yeah. So the first set of designs was the classic designs, and we actually still sell that tile set today. But that was the original.
Layering.
Yeah, but it was like the layering of the tiles is what we were
color in the back.
that we were trying to work on.
And
there was like solid tiles, and there was multiple colored layers, but we were trying to work through a clear top layer, and naturally thought we could do it ourselves.
Why not? We can do anything.
I mean, Etsy makes you believe things about
it's true. And Pinterest,
should think that they should, no, I'm not an arts and crafts person.
No, anytime I do something, it looks like I did it. And that's not.
Well, I want to jump back to when you guys were talking a little bit about how you were when you jumped into this, you were working pretty long hours, and each having 3 kids, that's a lot to juggle. How did you manage that to get that off the ground? You said initially your husbands weren't fully on board. Did you have a lot of support during that, or did you get extra help, or do you have any advice for people that really want to tackle jump into something 2 feet with 2 feet, but they maybe have so many other things going on. Like, how did you manage that in those initial few months or the year? I don't know how long it took you guys to really get going.
Yeah. I mean, our husbands, while I don't think that they fully understood the opportunity for the business, the Mahjong business that we were creating, they still were both very supportive.
Yeah.
And our kids thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
Mom is, starting a business. But I mean, I continued to work full time for about a year and a half we started Bambird in April of 2023, and I stayed full time at the firm until July of 24. So it was exhausting.
Yeah.
But we did have, not only our families were supporting us, the community that we live in, all of our friends were so supportive. Meredith hosted, remember when we had that little brainstorming session at your house?
It was like a focus group.
A focus group, yeah. And all of our neighbor friends came and they gave us feedback on different samples that we had purchased and that we were looking at. They gave us feedback on our tile designs. They were our first customers that purchased from us once we had products to sell. Yeah. So our friends and family were huge in kind of keeping us going, even though we were running on fumes because we were trying to do all the things.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's important that people realize that nothing good's is going to come if you don't try. Mm-hmm. And if you just commit to it, I mean, my family always jokes, I've always had these random ideas of like, hey, let's try this. And everyone's like, okay, Meredith, what's your next idea? And this time we just did it and we stuck with it. And even when it was hard, even when we were tired, once you get to a point where you're having fun, it's something you care about and you're doing it with someone that you feel as much support and has the vision that you do. Mm-hmm. And like she said, our community, we would not be in the place that we are if we did not have our friends in our community. So we are very spoiled and very blessed by having all of that. I think that was a huge impact on how we grew as quickly as we did. We never imagined it would grow as quickly as it has. And we are consistently humbled by that and grateful for that. And we try to make sure that we thank our community and show our appreciation for their support because we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. One other thing that I would say to someone that's trying to do something like this is, for me, and maybe it goes along with the accountant personality that I have, but taking a risk of just quitting my full-time job that I'd been at for 19 years, or I guess at the time, like 18 years, without knowing what was going to happen with Bambird was too big of a risk for me. And so for me, the decision that I had to make was, I'll keep working this full-time job while building this other business. It's going to be exhausting. And so it's going to drain me in other ways, but it helped me, like from a risk perspective, be able to say, okay, I'm willing to go in, but I also need this buffer of, I still am going to continue to work my other job. And I mean, and that is hard. The hours, when I mentioned in the beginning that I moved out of client service at the firm into a role where I had a little bit more balance. Then this threw all that balance out of whack. I no longer had balance anymore. And then got to a point where I was like, okay, all right, I can leave the corporate job now, and this, will be full time, and that helped bring balance back.
Absolutely. Meredith, you made a point in that I think you were actually echoing, Robin, which is you talked about how, in the starting process, it was kind of challenging and difficult, but like you saw the prize at the end. You saw that the joy that you were going to have working towards that. Keeping it in tone with our podcast, we talk a lot about how self-care, taking the time to really prioritize that can be a challenge in the beginning, but like you were saying, the risk, Robin, the risk is worth the reward of working hard for what you really want, because you're going to get those results just by kind of just taking it a day at a time and going. And I think you guys are totally echoing that, and I really appreciate you sharing that story.
Yeah, there's a lot of great pieces of advice in there. During that time, and even now, what do you do to protect your self-care time, or how are you taking care of yourselves right now?
Good question.
We try.
We're trying to actually play Mahjong.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I was going to ask that.
We play less Mahjong in the last, I would say, 6 to 8 months than we've ever played. But I guess it's a good problem to have. Yeah,
but we do still. That was actually what I was going to say. Like how we still, maybe it's Friday afternoon and we're like, okay, pop open a bottle of bubbles and let's play a couple games. And so we do try to do that. We try to find pockets of time where we can get in a Mahjong game, because when we sit around the table and we play the game, it uses our mind, but it also gives us a chance to socialize and connect and have fun. And then we have, with having 3 kids each, we also are doing all sorts of things with our families. And so we both still really prioritize our families. Every day at 3, we leave the office and we go pick up our kids.
That's great.
And we're in mom zone that for, the afternoon, evening, until the kids get through activities and dinner.
Why are they all in 9 activities? I would like a petition where everybody agrees 2 activities per kid.
Yeah. I'll sign it.
6 months at a time.
Oh, I know, it's nuts. But I think that helps too. We cut it off at 3 and we go, we take our minds off of it and we spend time with our kids.
Well, that was kind of one of the luxuries of starting our own business, is that we wanted to have the ability to be really productive, do something that uses our mind, challenges us, that uses what I'm good at, what she's good at, put it together and have this really cool product and outcome. But at the same time, we didn't want to sacrifice being able to do what we wanted to do in terms of being a mom and a wife and a friend or a daughter or any of that. And so we have made that a very adamant or a very strict line for our team. We hire a bunch of moms. Most of them are moms just like us that want something else to do and want to feel productive and not just wipe butts all day. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, there's a time and a place for that, but there's also some of us want enjoyment and a purpose outside of that. And so I think that not everybody has the luxury, and we're, again, very grateful for that, but being able to set that precedent within our team has been really important for us. That if your kid is sick, or if you need a day to go get your hair done because you look like a streetwalker, which I had to do a couple weeks ago because it was just ridiculous, and that's okay. Why do I need permission to go make myself feel better about myself? And I just, she's like over here, like, cut that out.
I love it.
Don't
It's
stop
great.
her. She's doing great.
Preface, I don't have a filter and I'm trying really hard to look. But
I
there's
love
things
it.
that, there isn't enough hours in the day, and we say that all the time. So if at the end of the day stuff gets done, or maybe it doesn't get done sometimes, it's okay to prioritize an hour or 2 for yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, a 6-day spa trip,
Right.
maybe wait until your kids and husband don't leave you. But I don't know.
I mean, you're really, truly such an inspiration, though, to like us and your listeners. I mean, you clearly have found, like, you're in your second phase of your life, right? Or your second career of your life, however you want to look at it. And you've probably learned a lot from what you were doing before. And now you have figured out boundaries and you've followed your intuition and you're creating this amazing culture, work-life balance. It's just really cool to hear that it's possible. And I think that it will resonate with a lot of our listeners too.
Well, and some of the things I think you were kind of alluding to is mom guilt.
Yeah.
Mom guilt is something that is very real. And it sounds like you guys are so aware of that challenge that even when you're hiring your staff, you're making sure that it's built with moms who will be feeling those same guilts that you have. And I think that's really wonderful. How you kind of already gave some advice as far as how you've combated that a little bit. How do you manage that within your staff even? Do you feel that you've offered some opportunities to really support them through the mom guilt, or offered them some advice as well during that time?
Yeah, I mean, our staff have a lot of flexibility. And if somebody has a doctor's appointment or is at home sick or needs to take a day to go do something for themselves, we're very flexible in allowing people to do that. We have recently added some new team members, and I think that helps because when we have more people on board, then we can kind of all shift around in different ways to make it all still work. And so as Bambird has grown and we've been able to grow our team, that makes that side of it where it then doesn't all just fall to me and Meredith to fill in those gaps. There's others to help. And so that's been huge, I think, for us.
Yeah, and I think mutual respect too, that I would hope that, as hiring the right people and making sure that they know that we are not going to breathe down your neck by any means. But at the same time, they know we need things done. We're a small business and we're trying to grow. And so we have never been in a position, luckily, that we've found amazing people and amazing staff that they respect our time, we respect their time. And it's just mutual of, hey, I can't get this done by noon today, but I can get it by 4. Okay. I mean, we are not doing brain surgery here. This is not life-saving, even though Mahjong games can get pretty intense. You know?
I can see that.
I mean, why take away from joy and the ability to do what we're all wanting to do? Because somebody needs a little bit more time, and they're going to be happier. We're going to be happier. It's a team dynamic. We very much want everybody to be a part of a team. And it doesn't mean we won't have days where somebody's frustrated or we're frustrated or frustrated with each other, because none of us are perfect. And some days are harder than others, just like the mom guilt. Some days I feel like I'm a really good employee, and that comes with I'm a really bad mom.
I was actually going to say I was going to say that earlier when we were talking about that. Like, please don't be fooled into thinking that every day is perfect, because there's days when it's like, my kids, that there was something that I forgot and I fell down on the job and I feel very guilty about it. Or with Bamber, that something just didn't happen the way that I wanted it to, and I feel guilty about that.
But we missed 2 calls yesterday because we were on other calls and we're like, well, nobody's going to want to work with us. We can't even make this call.
I know. Last night I was beating myself up about that. Like, oh my gosh, we're such losers. We can't even look at our calendar.
No, you're real.
Well, you have we're glad you mentioned it.
My 4-year-old and my 7-year-old to the Tiles and Tastings event on Wednesday, and there's a bunch of us drinking wine and playing Mahjong till 8 o'clock, and my kids are in there eating Chick-fil-A.
I mean, you guys are just having fun, it seems like. So
poor memory.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Yes.
You guys bring up such a good point. I mean, you guys keep bringing up good points. I feel like I keep saying that just because you girls are, it's very obvious that you're very real and you're very honest, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing that on this show. And I wanted to ask one question. It's kind of going back a little bit, and I apologize. But you talked about how you still make time to play Mahjong. And I think I'm still saying it right. I'm trying to make sure I say this word right. But do you feel that whenever you guys play it in the work sense versus the personal sense, that you set up ground rules for amongst yourselves as far as like what kind of conversations can be had versus not had? Like, is every Mahjong game a working?
Question. I don't know.
Maybe we should think about
do that. We kind of have a filter problem, so unfortunately, she's better at that than I am. And I will say, there's 2 different times we play. We play with our a more how do you say, strict group that doesn't play with blanks, and we play by the rules, stuff like that. And then we played a couple of tournaments, and that is like really strict, and we try to make sure we're still able to do that. And then there's also the times where we're playing with our kids and blanks makes the games go by a little bit faster. So I think flexibility in that is also important, because life is too short to take all of this too seriously.
But I would say the conversation is casual, fun, social. We haven't really, if we're at the table with people that are part of our team and we're playing Mahjong, we are not talking about work.
Yeah.
But we're also not talking about streetwalkers.
Yep. Hey, that could be fun.
I want more.
Add a whole other element to the conversation.
Well, I want to dive in now to talk about Bamber Boutique a little more specifically, because if our listeners have not checked you guys out, your product is beautiful, and there's so many cool designs. And so I would like to touch a little bit about the designs. And so how do you make the designs or create those new products? Is that one fall on one person more than the other, or is it very collaborative?
It's collaborative. There may be a certain product that she is lead on or one that I'm lead on, but we're both really involved in all of the products.
Yeah. And from the beginning, we wanted this to be very much where it fits for Mahjong, but we don't want it to scream Mahjong. Like, our bags don't have Mahjong written all over it. If you're going to buy a nice bag, we want it to repurpose as another bag. And so we try to keep things very classic, traditional, clean, timeless, so that they can be repurposed, reused, and passed down. And that was really one of the reasons. Or if Mahjong takes a dip, we're not on the streets.
Yes, the streetwalkers.
I love that.
I love it. Okay, I can second the fact that you guys have very, multi-purpose type of designs that I think are elevated, honestly, if I could say, are very elevated, very beautiful. When you made your first prototype and it kind of was a little bubbly and it didn't quite go so well, what were the steps that you guys kind of took to look into finding somebody to kind of help you with that and to move into that space?
That was all Meredith.
So I had worked with a graphic designer in my event planning life. And so, and she's been a great partner of ours that really helped us bring what our ideas were to life. So we come up with the themes, we come up with the colors, we come up with what we want it to look like. And again, we try to stay really more traditional to like a BAM, you would know what a BAM is, a crack, you would know what a crack is, and so forth. And then just, change the colorway a little bit or something like that. And so we, I went to her and explained all of this, and she was kind of like, "You're crazy." And now it's become this really great relationship. I mean, it definitely, I think the first tile set took us probably 4 months to work through the ins and outs, just because the manufacturer, what you don't know what you don't know.
Sure.
And so there's ways that we would want a design to look, but the actual act of etching it and hand painting it, all of our tiles are hand painted.
Wow.
So there was a learning curve for sure, just like anything new.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have been the easiest time for us to give up. And so anybody out there that is trying something new, I just hang with it, because don't walk away from the hard work that you've already started, because you could be so close and it will pay off in the end. But with that said, it is not easy, and it wouldn't be worth it if it was too easy, because then everybody would do it.
Yeah, but Meredith she found all we had samples made from a few different manufacturers before we picked which direction we were going, and she sourced all the manufacturers for all the products, all of the products that we have now. All the initial sourcing of the manufacturing is done by Meredith, which is a huge lift, a heavy load to carry.
Luckily, they're still like us. They haven't left us yet, because I really don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure I can imagine that was very overwhelming. I appreciate even the details of like your packaging, and like even that felt very elevated, like the magnets on the box and the I guess you call it like a dust bag that it comes in, that the bag comes in, and just all of the extra little details. Was that also Meredith, or did you guys, was all those details?
It was definitely a collab. The whole premise of this was that we wanted you to be anybody to be able to have luxury products and a luxury feel, and feel like a queen, and feel special and important without having to pay this outrageous price. Yeah. And just because somebody can pay it doesn't mean we all need to pay it. And we've tried really hard to offer our customers the best price we possibly can. And that's made a big impact on how quickly we can grow and stuff like that. But it's one of our core values, and we want to keep it that way. And we don't want it to be where we're pushing away the customer that we started with and that the heart of this business was for, in order to do it faster.
But we still want them to feel like that what they, and truly it is, what they are getting is a high-end quality product from beginning to end, from when they open the box until when they finish the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a testament. I feel like you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's definitely how you feel with your product. Definitely very luxury.
Can I admit something embarrassing
please.
you?
Sure.
So when we opened the boxes, and like you said, the white box, the magnet that keeps everything in, I totally saved it as a trinket box for my desk, because even the packaging,
like a Mac phone box that you don't want to get rid of.
Yes, it's like even the packaging was so perfect that I was like, don't throw that away, babe.
Yeah, I still have mine actually.
We're like Apple.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I can, as a consumer, I can tell you, I super appreciate even the boxing.
Absolutely.
I saved that till now to tell you.
We're glad you saved it, because those are expensive boxes. And it's good if you can find another use for it. I mean, for kids at Valentine's Day, to hold their Valentine, and there's so many uses for the box.
Trinkets, all the things.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed on some of your socials recently, you have a few new products coming out, possibly. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Do you want to talk about the next
couple new?
Talk about the tiles?
Yeah, talk about the tiles.
So we actually have, this is like not even out there yet, so this is late breaking news, but we do have a new tile collection that we're going to be launching with our Black Friday sale. And so there'll be tiles, mats, tile bags, the whole thing. So that's coming very soon. We also have
The theme of it.
You want me to tell the theme? Oh, it's called the Deco Collection. So it's an Art Deco type vibe.
Nice.
Jewel tones.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
And we try not to go too themey where, like, you know, there's a random, how do I say this? A random
we don't use like tinsels for BAMs, for example.
Oh, sure.
We try to keep it more in a colorway or a general look or feel and less themey, just because we do want it to be a classic, more timeless look that, you know, you like for a little, and then, you know, you don't want to keep it forever.
And also for the ease of players to be able to transfer from one tile set to the next, we still want our designs to be very recognizable for what they are. We want people to sit down, and any set that they're playing with that's a Bambird set, they can easily pick out the BAMs, the dots, and the cracks, because we try to stay true to those traditional things. So it's not like crazy themed, but it does have a deco feel to it with the fonts, some of the borders that were used, and the paint colors that we chose.
That's exciting.
So that'll be releasing very soon, and we're super excited for people to see it. We've also added a few other games lately.
So if you aren't a Mahjong player, the game night is definitely back. I feel like after COVID, we always say that people realize they actually like being with people. And so the whole resurgence of Mahjong, I think, is directly related to the whole game night, people wanting to be with people.
Put the phone down. Look at somebody across the table.
So
have a little competition.
We have Bunko.
Nice.
We have a game called Friendly Faces. So it's where you can go. It's kind of like
it's a guessing game with pictures. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
You can go online and actually upload pictures of your family, and so it's actually the best gift for grandma graduation. And so we would print it for you, and then you basically have a custom game with all of your family or friends to. So it's a really fun one as well.
That's really cool, and I imagine kids would really get into that.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of.
Who doesn't want to like tell awkward stories about, you know, the crazy aunt that got drunk at Thanksgiving?
Right?
You know, like it pulls up core memories for everybody.
That's true.
We love the core memories.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me ask one question that I meant to ask a little bit earlier on. I keep going back. Is what point in time in all of this did you guys really feel like we're doing great, we've got this, and we're really just like, let's go?
I mean, we still have to give ourselves pep talks regularly.
Yeah.
Like, we got this. Everything's going to be okay. But I would say we kind of started hitting a stride last holiday season. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we knew we were separating ourselves from others last holiday, but I also feel like we live in a world where it's never enough, and it's hard to sit in your success for a minute and feel good about it without being like, okay, what's next? And so that is something my husband and dad have been very much like, you've got to just sit here and realize 2.5 years ago, you guys were sitting at the dining room table pouring resin. I was drawing tile designs, you know? So I feel like it's important too for anybody else that's out there doing this, that let yourself feel good about it. It doesn't mean the next day you can't be like, okay, let's go, let's keep going. But sometimes we have to catch each other. And I will say that's a good thing about having a partner, is that when I'm having a rough day, she says, you got this, we got this, we're fine, it's not that bad. And then the same goes, where finding a partner to do something, I think, is the biggest thing, and finding the right partner for yourself, whether or not that's an immediate partner or your staff team, but all of that kind of coincides together, because even if you have a good day, the next day somebody's going to call and say, here.
Yeah, and knock you to your knees.
Yeah. Or scare you a little bit, and it's just a part of it.
Truly. I mean, that's such a great point to make, Meredith, saying that, like, you know, when you get to like such a successful part, or you just feel good, generally just feeling good, just really living in that moment. Because you're right, it's so easy, especially for us moms, because we try to forecast where trouble will be so that we could stop it before it gets there. And I mean, you guys are showing that that crosses even into business woman world, right? It's not just mom world, it's business woman world. And it's so important to really just enjoy the joy that you found in some points. And you can still work for more, but just make sure you appreciate it while it's there. That's such a great point.
I'm really yourself. I feel like for the longest time, it was like this weird thing that we aren't allowed to say we're proud of ourselves. And that's so unfortunate, because I want to teach my kids to say, I'm really proud of myself. I dealt with something today that was hard, that was scary, and I did it, and I'm still standing. And so it's always easier said than done. But I feel like for us too, we always talk about, we want our kids to be able to see that we can have a job and be good parents, but we also fail. We talk to them about when we fail. We talk to them when it's exciting, and just open communication with anybody and everybody, and even business owners. I mean, they should know that every day is not going to be good.
Yeah, it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No. And sometimes you're literally tracking a new product until it comes in, because you've already told people it's going to be there, and it shows up 30 minutes before. And it's just, it's a part of a small business.
Right. And then a typhoon happens and the boat gets delayed, and people say, but you said it was this day. And like,
when you tell someone that there's a typhoon in Dallas, Texas, they're like, excuse me? You're going to use a typhoon as an excuse? I'm like, I'm sorry, my dog ate my homework too.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think too, coming back to your kids and like the example you're setting for them, it's also, and for everybody, just showing that you can have joy while you're doing the job and being a mom and all those things. You're not drudging through life and just like putting your head down and just making it day by day, because you can tell that you guys have so much joy. And I don't know, do you feel like you have a lot more happiness now doing this compared to where you were, 3 years ago in different careers? And
I am. I mean, I was, being in the corporate grind for so long, and I'm not trying to bash that, because I gained so much from my time at the firm. But I do think I have more.
It's the next step, like you were saying, phase two. Phase two.
Yeah, I like using a more creative side of my mind, which I didn't for a long time. And it's really fun to get to explore different, like figure out what I can do and stretch myself in different ways. So that's been really fun for me.
Definitely.
No, I think that's great, because I mean, you pointed out how Meredith is more the creative one and you were kind of more like the analytical one, but here you are embracing your creative side in this chapter and thriving in it. So
and she's a lot more creative than, I mean, she's not a typical analytical. I mean, she is, but she isn't, I mean, you're very good at doing both, but this definitely has given you an avenue to use more of that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't get a lot of joy from sitting down and doing bookkeeping and recording, accounting entries. And so to be able to, I still have to do that, unfortunately for this business, but I also get to do really creative things that do bring me joy. And I mean, with anything, there's going to be aspects of the job or the role that you're in that you really like, and those that drain you. And so it's a balance of making sure that what fills you is more than what is draining you. And this is
definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, and I feel like for y'all, like watching y'all stuff, the social media aspect is so overwhelming. For y'all to like go in and edit these videos and do all this stuff, I mean, you should also be very proud of yourself, because I wake up at night sweating, worrying about social media,
about the real.
And I'm like, did I post that, or what should I do here?
Are you doing that personally yourselves, or you?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
I do none of it. So I can take no credit.
Stephanie's been helping, but it's definitely a team effort, because she looked at me and was like, I think you need a break, and I was like, so we're back into the mix of doing it together, but it's a labor of love. It's something I love to do, but it's also, I just kind of wish I was 21 and knew how to do things, because TikTok is a whole other thing. And
I think I see, because I'm on socials a lot too, because I kind of do that part of ours, and like on Threads, and just like so many people are like, I love my business, but I hate the social media. So you're not alone in that. And we feel that too. So, yeah.
So
That's a whole
hard.
nother
And you
job.
don't appreciate how hard it is for someone to make
It is. It's a
something
lot of
that's
time.
30 seconds
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so uncomfortable for me. Neither one of us really are like wanting to be in front of the camera all the time.
Yeah.
But we're realizing how important that is. And so we're having to get out of
Our shell a little bit.
a little.
sure.
Yeah.
And here you are today, and we're so happy to talk with you.
So thank you for giving us a chance.
Yeah, no, it's been so great to talk to you both. And we'd love for you to share with our listeners, like, where they can find you, maybe your website, and we'll link everything too on our pages, or maybe on the socials, if you want to just share that really quick.
Yes. So our website is bambirdboutique.com. And we also have our Instagram is bambirdboutique. We would love for people to follow along with us as, all the things that Meredith is posting on Instagram and now
We're going to
TikTok.
post today, but I'll let you
TikTok is the same. It's just Bambird Boutique.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
I love it. Well,
Yes.
before we let you guys go, I actually just wanted to personally thank you both for sending us a set for Mahjong for us to play. It's as somebody as a team who's also in this industry, you guys didn't just send a game to us. Like, you sent us an opportunity to find another creative outlet for ourselves. And I want you guys to really know how much you're appreciated, not just in the Dallas community, but in the St. Louis community. Because additionally, not only did you send us this amazing opportunity to learn a new hobby that I think was our first hobby that we did together and had so much fun doing. But additionally, you guys actually took the extra steps to find us somebody locally to teach us how to play the game.
Yeah, and really help us embrace the community of Mahjong. And so we now are meeting new people because of this. So it's just like the gift that keeps on giving.
Truly.
So yeah, we do.
I love that.
It's a testament to how selfless the two of you are and how much this game has brought you joy, that it's so joyful for you that you're sharing it with people. And that, I feel like, is really where the creative and the woman power, girl power, whatever you want to call it, really takes off in this time frame. And I just am very appreciative of the both of you for doing that. And having met both of you today, I can see that your friendship has really been your guys' backbone. I think you two really do seem to use each other to build each other up. And I as another duo, I feel that. Like, I just feel your companionship and your chemistry radiating through this, and it's a contagious. So I just am so grateful for the both of you and really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was really kind. Thank you. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And
Absolutely.
the connections in the community is, you got it. That's
And it doesn't mean you can't call her out on the Maj table, because we get cutthroat.
What? Oh, yeah.
The game's off when we're playing.
I'm still trying to read the sheet. I
We're
was
still working,
locked in. I was like, I'm staying on the F.
Hang in
Nobody's
there.
taking
It'll
F
work,
away
I
from me.
promise.
Yeah, we're going to stick with it. It's
Yes,
really fun.
it's been wonderful. Well, thank you
Yeah.
again so much for being on
Yeah.
our show with us today and taking your time. I know you guys are very busy ladies, and we're just very grateful to have you on the show today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us. We've
Congrats on
enjoyed it.
y'all stuff. We're excited to watch you guys
Thank
grow.
you.
So thanks
Thank
for letting us
you.
be a part of it.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Yeah.
You guys take
All right,
care.
well, have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Art of Happiness. Be sure to leave a review and rating. And for a little extra Erin and Tam fun, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Pinterest for behind the scenes footage of our journey to find happiness.